I'm Thomas Dekker. I'm an actor and filmmaker, and I'm honored to be here this evening to talk about this miraculous movie. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to invite the director, Adrian Chiarella, and its two leads, Joe Bird and Stacy Clausen. Well, hi.
Hi. Hello. Hi, everyone.
How are you guys doing?
Yeah, good. How's it going?
Good. Yeah.
Do I need to pass the mic down there?
I can just yell.
Oh, okay.
I'll pass this as well.
Okay,
Why don't
yeah.
you guys share those?
Okay,
Or
right.
actually, no, you just hold it.
Okay.
Let's just do this the whole time.
Okay.
I'm pleased this is an open conversation. If anyone has a question, raise your hand and we'll throw it out that way. It's not just me asking things. Congratulations
Thank
to all three of you. As I said outside, I've watched the film twice, and I think it's a bit of a masterpiece. So,
Thank you.
seriously, congratulations. I just want to start with a basic but important one. Where did this come from? The idea? Just give me the whole story.
I think I had noticed in the last, decade or so, just a bit of a peeling back of so many of the rights that we had fought for. I was lucky enough to grow up as a gay man in a time where I saw all of this progress, and eventually I was able to marry my husband. But things started changing a little bit, and so I just wanted to do something that explored, like, what is this idea of homophobia? This particular strain of fear that kind of comes along, whether it's internalized or externalized. And I thought back to my childhood, my teenage years, and I was saying before that I used to just watch a lot of horror movies in that time. And I think it's something that I shared with a lot of other queer teens. And I started digging into why that was and what kind of movie I could make around that. And then I started thinking about what would the horror movie monster be in a world where young people are being scared away from their own truth, their own fears, their own desires and their own emotions and their own identity. And that's where I came up with this idea of an entity or a horror movie monster that looks like the person you are most attracted to.
It's a very good idea.
Thank you.
All right, you two.
What's up? Now look out.
I think we'd all agree you're both extraordinary in this movie. And hear that because it's sincere. I was just wondering, your chemistry is so palpable, and not just in the romantic chemistry, in all the different moods and tones and feelings of this movie. So, did you know each other beforehand? Did you spend time off set together? How did you approach this duo?
Yeah, well, we met for the first time, in the callbacks that we were having, and, I think immediately we kind of knew that, we were each other's vibe, because, we were talking in the callback and, making conversation, and then, I found out that Stacy was going to be playing Ryan, and then I, sent him a message on Insta, because he hadn't sent me one yet, so I thought I'd send it to him. And I was like, hey, what's up? We're doing this film together, and then, I think what's so great about Stacy is that, he did reply, and he was like, yeah, really excited for this film, you too, and he was very open and very, it just was vulnerable to me, and I was, vulnerable with him, and we just did a lot of things together, and, talk about the activities we did,
Yeah, well, we're drinking together, shopping together,
Fortnite,
drinking together. We had a lot of fun just hanging out, and that's what was so great about Joe is that not only could we have fun off set together and just be friends, but the work chemistry was so fantastic as well. We understood the way we like to work as actors, and we gave each other space to do that as well. So it just, I hope it translated, but it felt special while we were doing it.
Yeah.
It did. And did you and it might be different for each of you, were you able to kind of pull in any sort of feelings from your own life, or did you completely completely fabricate these characters top to bottom. Like,
Yeah, well, I think there's always, I think whenever you're playing a character in anything, there's always like a tiny little bit of yourself in it, because that's how you are authentic in a role. And yeah, I think we were just kind of, displaying one perspective of, this community and these boys in this film, and, we're not like, I guess, trying to talk on so many, because there's so many other different things that happen in the world. Yeah, so I guess we're just, really focusing on these two boys and their love story, and how that's is affecting them. And I think it just reflects so many queer teenagers throughout the world who feel like they can't, speak up. And I hope this film is a comfort for them. And I think that's what that this film's about. It's about hope at the end of the day, I think.
Yeah. What the question? Remind me, please. Sorry.
no, just if you kind of fabricated this character.
No.
From
Yes. Yeah. So, what I was going to talk about, and I've talked about it before. There's this kind of tall poppy syndrome we have in Australia. That's a massive thing. And in terms of applying that to the character, we try and hide parts of ourselves in Australia, because people, don't like you being yourself and doing well. So I think that's something I apply to Ryan, in that he's someone who's really trying to hide parts of himself and protect the perception of himself by his community. So I think that was the biggest thing I took into it. But yeah, you're always looking for things in your own life to apply to the character, for sure.
Adrian, did you ever feel a distinction between, I'm making an important, poignant, impactful LGBTQ film, and I'm making an effective powerhouse horror film, or were they always under one shared umbrella?
I think because of the concept, they were under one shared umbrella. I did feel a slight shift in terms of thinking of, okay, we're doing all these horror sequences, but then we have this love story going on at the same time. But as the process evolved and as we got closer and closer to shoot, those things kind of came together, because I think I realized as we started preparing that all of those horror sequences, they don't really work unless you buy the chemistry between the two characters. That's the whole thing. So slowly everything kind of came together between those two halves, definitely, yeah.
One thing that I really noticed that's really unique to me in this movie is, a lot of times when films are involving religion or a kind of, ancient curse, whatever, they tend to be gothic in tone and in aesthetic. And I loved that you brought all this modernity in with this buzzing electrical systems and the pounding of the factory and the smoke and the fire. And it's very modern, but it's very desolate. And I just was curious, was that a texture that you envisioned when writing it, or was that something you found in the location?
It was definitely part of the vision from the beginning when I was writing. For me, there's something that almost feels more ancient and biblical if we didn't go towards what the team and I always talked about as the kind of stained glass window look of what religion was. There was something about presenting this world that was like, it was this town that had once seen better times. So you saw all this sort of scarred, faded industrial architecture, as though people had come here and brought all these new ideas, or brought these sort of ideas, old ideas really, but they brought these ideas to this land, and then a lot of them had moved away, but these ideas had stayed behind. Something about that felt kind of biblical. I don't know why I had to put my finger on it, but then when we were scouting church halls, we were looking everywhere, and we just found like this church that's an actual church in the southern suburbs of Melbourne that is this sort of grey brick building with a red brick cross in the wall, and it was kind of the right proportions, and the windows were in the right place for us to do some interesting stuff with the light. And we just knew that that was it. It sort of had that feeling that it could be part of it could almost be at the center of this very industrial, faded world that we were creating the rest of the film out of. And we were so specific about that vision that the town where there's no real town where we actually shot it. It's made up of all these different locations scattered on the outskirts of Melbourne and in regional Victoria. So I was having to draw a lot of maps for everyone to keep track of where they were and where everything was in relation to each other. Even the sound team, when we got into post, they wanted the maps because they needed to know, like, well, how much are we going to hear of that factory? How far away is it? All that kind of thing. So, yeah.
How long was the shoot?
It was 30 days.
Okay. I have to ask you guys about the conversion scenes, because I was so stunned by just the physical intensity that you both bring in these moments. And they don't seem, if they are, good job, but they don't seem doctored or pushed in post. I mean, we can see like every vein in your body. And I just was curious, you know, was that something that you really, did you feel pushed to that by him, or was that your sort of, I just talked to him about that.
Yeah, Adrian forced me to do it. Actually, no. No, I was never forced into anything. I just, when it comes to physical acting, I love to push myself as hard as I can. I find there's a certainty and to physical acting that like fills me with confidence. I just find myself able to and really comfortable going that far with my body. But when it came to like the possession scenes and the photo booth and then that final battle in the mill, every single one of them, it was a hard day on my body. But we put the time in during pre-production to make sure everything was safe and that I wasn't going to hurt myself too bad. Yeah.
I really love the relationship between you and your mother in the film, and I think it's a really interesting texture in the whole thing. What was it like playing that with Mia? Can you tell me?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, first of all, Mia is just incredible, and, you know, it was such an honor when I found out that she was going to be playing my mom, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. And yeah, when I first met her, Adrian got us to just go on a drive that was supposed to be 5 minutes, but then we got lost on the highway by accident. It became like this whole hour drive, cars beeping at us, like, we almost got
Trying to change lanes.
There was this whole thing, and then Adrian, you know, thought we were dead. He was like, where are you guys? And then, just building that with her was, really great because, I mean, Mia is just so smart as well. We had conversations just about kind of what dynamic we kind of wanted to. We spoke with Adrian as well in pre-production, and it just kind of all felt really natural and easy, and that's just a testament to this set in general. Everybody on the set gave 100%. Cast and crew was just allowed for everyone to just kind of, I don't know, just do their thing and be great, because everyone is great in this film, and
As an extension of Mom, question for you. One of the things I love most about this movie is it's kind of a punk rock statement at the end that, I was sort of expecting the redemptive mom moment. And while the way you wrote her and the way Mia played her, she's a fully rounded, believable character, human being that, you understand she thinks she's doing what's best. But the reveal that we get, and then you two leaving, it kind of goes against the sort of, always come back to family. And I was just curious if you ever entertained a different conclusion to their storyline, or if that was kind of imperative.
Yeah, in the script, I kept trying all these different scenes where she'd have some big outpouring or some big moment of redemption, and it never felt true. This film, for me, it always worked, and I knew that the feeling that I was going for was that everything should feel really real. We just have this one thing that's unbelievable, which is, well, not unbelievable, but this one elevated thing, which is the entity, the horror movie, supernatural monster element. But I wanted everything else to feel as true as possible in the acting and in the tone and in the world. And every time I gave her that redemptive ending, it just felt like we were in a movie again. And I was kind of like, movies about this subject matter give the parents this moment where they're forgiven and that everyone comes back together. But I think the truth is, when young people have been through an experience like this with their parents, it takes many, many years for things to really heal. And the truth is that this is a movie that's set over, really like a couple of months. It's, the whole from beginning to end. And I think that the relationship between Joe's character and Mia's character is something that may mend sometime in the future, but it would have been unrealistic to just fast forward to that, just to give everyone a nice, neat little bow to tie everything under. So, yeah.
I love that choice. I'm going to ask, just because I'm sure we have many filmmakers in this audience, I have to ask, how much pushback, if any, did you receive in this process in regard to the gay content of this film?
We were very well protected because our wonderful producers, Hannah and Christina Seaton and Sam Jennings, who's here, they they set this film up in a way that we were financed independently, and so we were very much, we were kind of left to really work as a team together internally to kind of figure out what the right choices were. And so we didn't receive that kind of pushback, really, if I'm honest, and we were sort of working at this in this very protected way over in Australia. A few notes towards the end around some of the intimacy scenes, but ultimately, we kind of tried things and then put them back, and then there was a moment after we blocked edit that I went back and changed some stuff because it didn't really feel true, but ultimately we got to make the film that we wanted to make in terms of that content. So,
And how long did it take to put it all together from the idea to, what was that journey like?
The very beginning, so I wrote the film, I started writing the film in early COVID, like sort of 2021. That's when that idea came to me of the whole concept of this horror movie entity and the love story around it. And I had a lot of support. This is the other wonderful thing about Australia is we have these funding bodies, state and federal funding bodies, and I was in a program called Originate, which was there to support first-time feature directors with original concepts. And I received a few rounds of support to write the script, and I was able to fit that in around a little bit of TV work that I did over the last sort of 4 years. And so I just kept working away at the script until about, I think it was sort of late 2024 that we were all really happy with the script, and then we sent it out and sort of got it financed and started scouting and casting sort of late 2024, early 2025. And then the shoot was, I think it's like almost a year ago to the day we started shooting.
Oh, wow.
So it's been a really, really quick turnaround. We shot it, we wrapped in August, and the post-production was the thing that we kind of really hustled through because we got into Sundance around October, November, and we thought it was just such an amazing opportunity that it was worth, really racing to get there, and we did, which was quite stressful, but it was worth it in the end. So, yeah.
Do you two have a favorite scene that you are in? That
You reckon? I know. I do love the scene that you've said it's your favorite scene.
You can take it.
Can I take it?
I change all the time, so.
There's a scene towards the very start of the film. After the first kiss, that's just Ryan and Name messing about, laughing, chatting, taking the piss out of each other. And that scene was quite special. We had a couple hours on last day.
The
Very last day of shooting.
Slide on the last day.
No script. Adrian wanted this little moment, and we just rolled the cameras and shot this thing. And because it was on the last day, and we sat with these characters for so long, the improv was so easy. It just flowed out of us both. And just that kind of experience when you're filming is unique, to not have to stick to a script and to just literally play and explore and have fun with it is why I do it as an actor. So that scene, it was really special to me.
Yeah, my favorite scene in the film, it's kind of like a part of a scene, but like as I get taken into the house, but the camera just stays on Mia in the car, and it's just, there's so much that goes on in her face in those 3 seconds that's just still on her, and I just think like that is just, because of me, I just like love seeing performance in films, and I just thought that was incredible. So that's like one of my favorite little scenes, yeah.
I love the scene with the two of you at the door. Brutal. Well, I think we're wrapping up here in a minute, so I'm going to ask one last big question to the three of you. What happens now for Ryan and Name? And if there was
No, you answer.
a sequel, what would we expect?
What's your theory? You don't. Do you?
I don't know. Well, like, I mean, they're only, 18? Well, but then, like, they're in love.
They're gonna break up. This is the vibe I'm getting.
No, I don't think they're gonna break up. I mean, did they ever really say they were boyfriends?
No, it's true. There's nothing to.
So I think they need to
They
go on
need
a
to make
date.
it official.
Sorry,
That's
they need
what's
to
next.
go on a date first, an official date. Right?
Yeah.
So like, let's not even talk about what happens next. They should actually start the relationship first.
Didn't they exchange rings? Wasn't this part of like the off-screen story you guys developed?
Yeah.
Well, maybe their kink is ring sharing. I don't know, but they're not together yet, so they need to get
They
together
need to
first.
trial that out. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a masterpiece. Congratulations to all three of you. Thank you so much for being here.